Hey Soul Warriors, it is day 21. It's Tara from Soul Intentions. So, day 21, I'm just reading back, which is so different from my day today. So, it was weird getting back into that energy. Day 21 was pushing back at me hard. Like, all my old stories were like coming up, and I was like, peace, peace, peace. Like, I'm hardlining my energy, my thoughts, like into peace. And those old stories were pushing and pushing, which I know is my ego pushing them and pushing them. I know the ego feels relevant in those old stories. And so the ego likes to want to keep the stories alive as much as possible. And my soul self was like, no freaking way. But then I started to get frustrated because I'm like, I've done the work. I've pushed through my boundaries. I've pushed through fear. I've pushed through like all these freaking things. And these stupid stories are still coming up. Like it was so frustrating. So I sat there and I'm like, all right, what do you do when what your old story is telling you want is right in front of you, but you know it's not good for you, or you know you can't have it, or whatever the case may be? You pivot. And I learned that as a little kid, like in basketball. Like pivoting was like, and I was good at it too. I wasn't good at basketball, but I was good at pivoting. You turn your body, you keep one foot planted firm in the ground. You are grounded, you are you. You are solid in your power, and you turn a different way. And you leave whatever was standing in your way or whatever was coming at you that's not good for you. You leave it in the dust because you pivot over here or wherever it's good for you to be. So, I mean, pivoting is shifting your attention and shifting your intention. So I found that one of the things that was getting me stuck is my intention was, I want really solid friends. I want a really solid relationship. I want a job that I love, that I feel valued at, and I feel like the work that I'm doing provides value to the world. I want all those things. And that was a consistent intention. But I had hooked the job to what my current job was, and the friend to the friend at that time, and the relationship to the relationship at that time. So my intention wasn't aligned with where my attention was. So it was mixing that energy, and it was making things really murky for me. So you have to shift your attention away from the old story and into something current or something you're working towards, and shift your intention. So if I'm having trouble with job right now, I don't want to sit there and focus on job. That's not going to help me. So I'm going to focus on the fun thing I'm doing after work, or the awesome thing that I'm doing on the weekend, or the part-time gig I have that is really valuable work and the people truly value me, or my own business that I'm working in. You just have to pivot and shift your attention and your intentions. And eventually the old stories, they lose those strands and those relevancies, because if you're not feeding them the energy, they will slowly die off. So pivoting was really big for me. I'm just looking at my notes for a second to see what else I had on that day. And when that stuff comes up, that loss of the old things, like feel it and let it flow through, but then still do your pivot. So shift your intention, shift your attention, release what you can. And then this is the most important part: allow more of who you are to come forward. Because in those old stories, part of the reason it wasn't working for you is because, say, providing value is important to me in a job, and it wasn't providing value out to the world. It was just really ridiculous work. To me, maybe it provided value to somebody, but I didn't feel fully who I was because it wasn't aligned with my core value of being valuable. And I'm also, a core value is being around people who value me and I value them. And that wasn't present at the job. So that's like squashing part of who you are. Anytime you squash any sort of, your integrity and your part of your values, whatever your core values are, if part of that is getting squashed in a relationship, a friendship, a job, or any other experience, that's squashing part of who you are. So you need to allow more of who you are to come forward, and that will fill in the gaps. Because the reason that old thing didn't work was because there's parts of you that are pushing to get out constantly. These little human bodies that we walk around in, all different shapes and sizes, obviously, but they cannot house the powerhouses that we truly are. Like all the energy that we can actually harness and all the stuff that we can create, like it's massive. So you have to keep like expanding who you are and bringing more of yourself in bits and pieces and bits and pieces as you can shift into holding that energy. And that takes work and it takes practice. And if you try to like up level way too fast, you'll get sick. You get knocked on your ass. Because if you don't take care of your physical body in a way that it can handle the amount of energy that you're channeling through you, yeah, it's not good. You need to be able to really align here physically so that that spiritual energy can just flow through really, really freaking vibrantly and create what you want to create. So yeah, so the pivot, shift your intention, shift your attention, and allow more of who you are to come forward every single second of every single day. And if you feel a part of yourself being squashed, see if there's a way you can bring it out. And if you can't, to seriously evaluate that situation to see if it's where you truly should be, and then implement the pivot. All right, that's day 21. Hope you had a great weekend, Soul Warriors, and I will talk to you tomorrow night. Take care.